The interview room felt colder than it should have been. Maya pressed her worn portfolio against her chest, fingers trembling slightly as she waited outside the glass doors of Hartwell Industries. Her reflection stared back at her, faded blouse pressed carefully that morning, skirt hemmed by hand 2 nights ago, shoes polished until they almost looked new. Almost. She had been here before, at doors like these, with hope tucked beneath her ribs like a fragile thing. And she had been turned away before, too. But this time felt different. This time she had nothing left to lose. Inside, beyond those pristine doors, sat a man who held her future in his hands. Alexander Hartwell. She had researched him, of course. Everyone knew his name. At 38, he had built an empire from inheritance and innovation, turning his father's modest manufacturing company into a tech giant. Forbes called him brilliant. Business Insider called him ruthless. But Maya did not care about any of that. She cared only about the job posting she had found at 2 in the morning while her daughter slept in the next room. Executive assistant, no degree required, just skill, dedication, and a willingness to work hard. She had all 3 in abundance. The glass doors opened, and a woman in a sharp gray suit gestured her inside. "Miss Cooper? Mr. Hartwell will see you now." Maya stood, smoothing her skirt one more time, and followed. The hallway stretched long and silent, lined with awards and framed magazine covers. Alexander Hartwell's face appeared again and again, confident, composed, untouchable. Her heels clicked against the marble floor, each step echoing louder than the last. They reached a set of double doors, dark wood and brass handles. The woman knocked once, then opened them. "Miss Maya Cooper," she announced. Maya stepped inside. The office was vast, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, sleek furniture arranged with precision, and at the center of it all, behind a desk that looked like it cost more than her car, sat Alexander Hartwell. He did not look up immediately. He was reading something on his tablet, brow furrowed slightly, one hand resting against his jaw. When he finally raised his eyes, they were sharp, assessing, and utterly unreadable. "Miss Cooper," he said, his voice smooth and controlled. "Sit." She did, placing her portfolio on her lap, hands folded over it. He leaned back in his chair, studying her with the same intensity he might study a quarterly report. "You have an impressive application," he said. 3 years at a logistics firm, 2 years freelancing, and before that, administrative work at a nonprofit. "Yes, sir." "But there are gaps," he continued, flipping through something on his screen. "Long ones." Maya's throat tightened. She had known this would come up. It always did. "I was caring for my daughter," she said quietly. "She was sick." "I couldn't work full-time." Alexander's expression did not change. "And now?" "She's better. I'm ready to work. I need to work." He set the tablet down, folding his hands in front of him. "Why here? Why this position?" Maya met his gaze, forcing herself not to look away. "Because I'm good at what I do. Because I don't give up. And because I need a chance that no one else will give me." Silence stretched between them. Then he spoke again. Softer this time, but no less direct. "This job is demanding. Long hours, high pressure, zero tolerance for mistakes. I don't have time to train someone who might not last." "I'll last," she said. "I promise." He watched her for a long moment. Then he stood, walking to the window, hands behind his back. "I've hired 43 assistants in the past 6 years. None of them made it past a year. Some quit. Some I fired. Do you know why?" Maya shook her head. "Because they wanted the title," he said. "The prestige. The proximity to power. But they didn't want the work." He turned to face her. "So tell me, Miss Cooper, what do you want?" She swallowed hard, then spoke, her voice steady despite the storm inside her. "I want to provide for my daughter. I want to prove that I'm more than the gaps in my resume. I want to matter again." Something flickered in his eyes. Not sympathy, but something close to recognition. He returned to his desk, pulling out a folder. 1 month, he said. Trial basis. You'll start Monday. If you can keep up, the position is yours permanently. Maya's breath caught. Thank you. Thank you so much. Don't thank me yet, he replied. Show me I made the right choice. She stood, clutching her portfolio like a lifeline. As she turned to leave, she paused at the door. Mr. Hartwell? Yes? I won't let you down. He nodded once. We'll see. Maya left the building with her heart pounding so hard she thought it might burst. She made it to her car, an old sedan with a dented bumper and a passenger window that did not roll down anymore, before the tears came. Not from sadness, but from relief so overwhelming it felt like drowning and breathing at the same time. She pulled out her phone and called the only person who mattered. Lily? Mom? Her daughter's voice was bright, curious. Did you get it? Maya smiled through her tears. I got it, baby. I got the job. The squeal on the other end made her laugh. I knew you would. I knew it. I start Monday. We should celebrate. Can we get pizza? Maya glanced at her wallet, mentally calculating. Yeah, we can get pizza. That night, in their small apartment above a laundromat, Maya and Lily sat on the worn couch with a large pepperoni pizza between them. The TV played an old movie neither of them was really watching. Lily, 9 years old with dark curls and her mother's stubborn chin, leaned against Maya's shoulder. Are you scared? Lily asked quietly. Maya kissed the top of her head. A little, but mostly I'm grateful. What's he like? Your new boss? Maya thought about Alexander Hartwell, about the coldness in his office and the hardness in his eyes. He's intense, but fair, I think. Lily nodded. You're going to be amazing, Mom. You always are. Maya held her daughter tighter, blinking back fresh tears. This child who had been through so much, who had spent years in and out of hospitals, who had watched her mother struggle and sacrifice and sometimes break, still believed in her. That belief was worth more than any salary. Monday morning arrived too quickly. Maya woke at 5, showered, dressed in her best outfit, and stood in front of the mirror, giving herself a silent pep talk. She dropped Lily off at school, hugging her longer than usual. You've got this, Mom, Lily whispered. I've got this, Maya repeated. Hartwell Industries felt different now that she was not a visitor. She had a badge, a desk, and an inbox that was already overflowing. Alexander's previous assistant, a polished woman named Christine, spent 3 hours briefing her on schedules, preferences, and protocols. He drinks black coffee, no sugar, Christine said. Meetings start on time, not a minute late, and never, ever interrupt him when he's on a call unless it's an emergency. What constitutes an emergency? Maya asked. Christine smiled tightly. You'll know. By noon, Maya's head was spinning. She had coordinated 2 conference calls, rescheduled a meeting with investors, and proofread a contract so dense with legal jargon she had to read each paragraph 3 times. Alexander barely acknowledged her, communicating mostly through terse emails and brief nods. But she kept up. She did not complain, and when 5 o'clock came and everyone else began packing up, Maya stayed at her desk, finishing the last of her tasks. At 6:30, Alexander emerged from his office, jacket slung over one arm. He paused when he saw her still working. You're still here? She looked up, just finishing up. He studied her for a moment. Go home, Miss Cooper. Tomorrow starts early. Yes, sir. He left without another word. Maya gathered her things, exhaustion settling into her bones, but beneath it was something else. Satisfaction. She had made it through day 1. The days blurred together after that. Wake up, drop off Lily, work until her eyes burned, pick up Lily, help with homework, collapse into bed, repeat. Alexander remained distant, professional, demanding. But Maya noticed things, the way he refilled his own coffee when she was swamped with calls, The way he adjusted meeting times when she mentioned needing to pick up her daughter. Small gestures, easy to miss, but they were there. On Friday of her first week, she found an envelope on her desk. Inside was her first paycheck and a handwritten note. "You lasted a week. That's more than most. Keep going." Maya stared at the note for a long time, then tucked it carefully into her wallet. The second week brought new challenges. A major client threatened to pull their contract. Alexander worked 16-hour days, and Maya matched him hour for hour. She ordered food, managed calls, kept his schedule from collapsing under its own weight. She saw him frustrated for the first time, saw the cracks in his polished exterior when a deal fell through. Late one night, as she was preparing to leave, she heard a sound from his office. A muffled curse, then silence. She hesitated, then knocked softly. "Mr. Hartwell, do you need anything?" "No," his voice was clipped. She should have left. Instead, she opened the door slightly. He was standing by the window, tie loosened, looking out at the city. "I'm fine, Miss Cooper." "Of course," she said. Then, quietly, "For what it's worth, you did everything right today. Sometimes deals just don't work out." He turned, surprised. "You don't know anything about it. I know you've been here since 6 this morning. I know you fought for that client, and I know beating yourself up won't change the outcome." A long silence stretched between them. Then, unexpectedly, he smiled. Just slightly, but it was there. "That's very wise for someone who's been here 2 weeks." "I've had practice," she said. He nodded slowly. "Go home, Maya. Your daughter's waiting." It was the first time he had used her first name. The third week, everything changed. It started like any other day, until Maya's phone rang during a staff meeting. She silenced it quickly, but it rang again, and again. Her stomach dropped. She only got calls like this when something was wrong. "I'm sorry," she whispered, stepping out of the conference room. The hospital. Lily had collapsed at school. They were running tests. Maya's hands shook as she grabbed her purse. She did not think, did not plan. She just ran. She made it to the elevator before Alexander's voice stopped her. "Maya, what happened?" "My daughter," she managed. "I have to go." "I'll drive you." "No, That wasn't a request." They did not speak in the car. Alexander drove with the same precision he brought to everything else, navigating traffic with ease. Maya stared out the window, her mind spiraling. Not again. Please, not again. They reached the hospital, and Maya bolted from the car before it fully stopped. Alexander followed, catching up to her at the reception desk. "Lily Cooper," Maya said urgently. "She was brought in from Riverside Elementary." The nurse checked her computer. "Room 214, second floor." Maya ran. She found Lily in a bed, looking small and pale, an IV in her arm. But she was awake, and when she saw her mother, she smiled weakly. "Hi, Mom." Maya collapsed beside her, taking her hand. "Baby, what happened?" "I just got dizzy." "I'm okay." A doctor entered, chart in hand. "Miss Cooper?" "I'm Dr. Harrison. Lily's stable. We're running some tests, but her vitals are good. It appears to be exhaustion and possibly anemia. Has she been eating well?" Maya's face burned. "Yes, I try. We don't always—" She stopped, unable to finish. The truth was too heavy. They did not always have enough. She had been rationing groceries, skipping meals herself to make sure Lily ate. Alexander stepped forward. "What does she need?" The doctor looked between them. Rest, proper nutrition, iron supplements, and follow-up appointments to monitor her progress. "Done," Alexander said. Maya turned to him confused. "Mr. Hartwell—" "We'll discuss it later." They stayed at the hospital until Lily was cleared to go home. Alexander did not leave. He sat in the waiting room, making calls, rearranging his schedule. When they finally got Lily settled in the car, wrapped in a hospital blanket, Maya tried to thank him. "You didn't have to do this." "I know. Why did you?" He glanced at her in the rearview mirror, then back at the road. "Because you would have done the same for me." Maya did not know what to say to that. He drove them home, helped Lily inside, and waited while Maya got her daughter settled in bed. When she returned to the living room, he was still there, standing awkwardly near the door. "Your apartment is—" "Small," Maya finished. "I know. I was going to say cozy." She almost laughed. Almost. "Mr. Hartwell, I can't repay you for today." "I'm not asking you to." "Then what are you asking?" He looked at her, really looked, and for the first time since they met, his guard dropped. "I'm asking you to let me help. Not as your boss, just as someone who understands what it's like to be alone." Maya's breath caught. "You're not alone. You have everything. Money isn't company," he said quietly, "and success isn't family." The silence between them felt heavy with unspoken truths. Maya looked at this man, this powerful CEO standing in her cramped living room, and saw something she had not expected: loneliness. "Why are you really here?" she asked softly. Alexander hesitated, his jaw tightening. "Because when I was 12, my mother collapsed in our kitchen. My father was away on business. I called 911, but I was terrified. I sat in that hospital waiting room alone for 6 hours before anyone came." He paused. "No child should have to go through that alone. And no parent should either." Maya's eyes filled with tears. "I'm sorry." "Don't be. Just accept the help." She nodded, unable to speak. He moved toward the door, then stopped. "Take tomorrow off. Stay with Lily. I'll have groceries delivered in the morning. Iron-rich foods, the doctor's recommendations." "Mr. Hartwell." "Alexander," he corrected. "And before you argue, consider it a company benefit. Employee wellness." He left before she could protest further. Maya stood in her empty living room, staring at the closed door, wondering what had just happened. She checked on Lily, who was already asleep, then sank onto the couch. For the first time in years, she felt something dangerous blooming in her chest: hope. The next morning, as promised, groceries arrived. Not just basics, but fresh vegetables, lean meats, whole grains, and supplements. Enough to fill her small refrigerator twice over. Tucked inside one bag was a note in familiar handwriting: "Take care of her. Take care of yourself. See you Monday." Lily woke up feeling better, color returning to her cheeks. They spent the day together, something they had not done in months. They watched movies, played board games, and cooked a real meal with the fresh ingredients. As they ate, Lily asked, "Is Mr. Hartwell nice?" Maya thought about it. "I think he's trying to be. He helped us. That's nice." "Yeah," Maya agreed. "It is." Monday arrived, and Maya returned to work with renewed determination. She expected things to return to normal, to the professional distance they had maintained. But something had shifted. Alexander asked about Lily first thing that morning. "How is she?" "Better. Much better, thank you." He nodded. "Good." Throughout the week, Maya noticed more changes. Alexander started leaving earlier, never past 7. He insisted she take her full lunch break. And when she worked late, he worked late too, but he always made sure she left before him. "I can lock up," he would say. "Go home to your daughter." One evening, as Maya was gathering her things, Alexander emerged from his office with a portfolio. "I need your opinion on something." She looked up, surprised. "My opinion?" He laid out designs for a new community center the company was funding. "We're planning programs for underserved families, educational resources, healthcare screenings, after-school activities. But I want to make sure we're addressing real needs, not just what looks good in a press release." Maya studied the plans carefully. "This is wonderful, but you're missing something." "What?" Child care. If parents can't afford babysitters, they can't attend your programs. And food assistance, not just nutrition education, but actual food. Families like mine, we don't need to be told what to eat. We need help affording it." Alexander listened intently, taking notes. "What else?" They talked for an hour, Maya sharing insights from her own struggles. Alexander absorbing every word. When they finished, he looked at her with something that might have been admiration. "You should be consulting on this project. I'm your assistant." "You're more than that," he said. Then, as if realizing what he had admitted, he cleared his throat. "I mean, you have valuable perspective." Maya smiled. "I'll take that as a compliment." It was meant as one. As weeks turned into months, their relationship deepened in ways neither had anticipated. It started small. Alexander remembering Lily's favorite color and having flowers delivered in that exact shade of purple. Maya noticing he had not eaten lunch and ordering his favorite sandwich without being asked. Him attending Lily's school play, sitting in the back row, applauding louder than anyone when she took her bow. Her staying late to help prepare for a crucial presentation, offering encouragement when his confidence wavered. The office staff noticed. Whispers followed them through hallways. "Have you seen the way he looks at her?" someone murmured in the break room. "It's different." Margaret from accounting cornered Maya one afternoon. "You're good for him, you know." "He's been different since you started. Kinder." Maya did not know what to say to that. She had not come here looking for anything beyond a paycheck. She certainly had not expected to see the human being beneath the CEO facade. But she had, and now she could not unsee it. One Friday evening, Alexander stopped by her desk with an unusual request. "Tomorrow is Saturday." "I'm aware," Maya said, smiling. "I have tickets to the Science Museum. The Children's Wing is hosting a special exhibit on space exploration." He paused, looking uncharacteristically nervous. "Would Lily like to go?" "You're both invited, of course. If you're free, no pressure." Maya's heart squeezed. She would love that. She's obsessed with astronauts. Relief washed over his face. "Good. I'll pick you both up at 10. The next morning, Lily could barely contain her excitement. She wore her favorite dress, the one with stars on it, and clutched a small notebook she had decorated with drawings of planets. When Alexander arrived, she ran to greet him. "Mr. Hartwell, Mom says we're going to see real space stuff." He smiled, a genuine warm smile Maya had rarely seen. "That's right. And please call me Alex." "Okay, Alex." Lily grabbed his hand without hesitation, pulling him toward the car. "Did you know that Jupiter has 67 moons? I read it in a book." "I did not know that," he said, opening the car door for her. "Tell me more." Maya watched them, her throat tight with emotion. This man, who commanded boardrooms and intimidated executives, was listening with rapt attention to a 9-year-old's rambling facts about outer space. The museum was magical. They spent hours exploring exhibits, Lily darting from display to display, asking endless questions. Alexander never tired, never checked his phone, never seemed to be anywhere but right there, present. He bought Lily a telescope in the gift shop, despite Maya's protests. "Every future astronaut needs one," he insisted. They stopped for ice cream afterward, sitting on a bench in the park. Lily sat between them, chocolate smeared on her chin, chattering about everything she had learned. When she ran off to chase pigeons, Alexander turned to Maya. "Thank you for today." "I should be thanking you," she said. "You gave me something I didn't realize I was missing," he said quietly. Just this. Maya understood. She felt it too. The simplicity of a perfect afternoon, untainted by struggle or stress. Just joy. They watched Lily scatter the birds, her laughter carrying on the breeze. "She likes you," Maya said. "I like her too." He paused. "And her mother." Maya's breath caught. She turned to look at him, finding his gaze already on her. "Alexander." "I'm not good at this, but," he interrupted, "I don't do personal well. I don't know how to be anything other than professional, but with you, I want to try." Before she could respond, Lily came running back. "Mom!" "Alex, there's a fountain. Can I throw a penny in?" "Of course," Maya said, her voice unsteady. She pulled a penny from her purse, handing it to her daughter. "Make a wish." Lily closed her eyes, lips moving silently, then tossed the coin into the water. "Done." "What did you wish for?" Alexander asked. Lily grinned. Can't tell, or it won't come true. But later, when they dropped her off and she hugged Alexander goodbye, she whispered loud enough for Maya to hear, I wished for you to stay. That night, after Lily was asleep, Maya stood on her small balcony, thinking about everything that had happened. Her phone buzzed. A message from Alexander. Today was perfect. Thank you for letting me be part of it. She typed back. Thank you for seeing us. Really seeing us. His response came quickly. I see you, Maya. I've been seeing you since the moment you walked into my office and asked for just one chance. Maya pressed the phone to her chest, smiling in the darkness. The following Monday brought unexpected turbulence. Maya arrived at work to find the office buzzing with tension. Alexander was in an emergency meeting with the board. When he finally emerged, his face was drawn, expression tight. My office. Please. Maya followed, closing the door behind her. What happened? He paced, running a hand through his hair. There's been a complaint. Someone reported that I'm showing favoritism toward you. They're claiming it's inappropriate, that I'm compromising company integrity. Maya's stomach dropped. Who? Jonathan Pierce. He's been angling for a board position for months. This is his leverage. Alexander stopped pacing, facing her. They want me to terminate you or step down from day-to-day operations. Then let me go, Maya said immediately. No. Alexander, you built this company. I won't let you lose it because of me. You don't understand, he said, his voice rough. I don't care about any of it if you're not here. The company, the board, none of it matters. That's not true. It is. He moved closer. For years, I convinced myself that work was enough. That success would fill whatever was missing. Then you showed up, asking for one chance, and everything changed. You reminded me what matters, not quarterly reports or stock prices, but moments, real moments with real people. Tears burned in Maya's eyes. I can't let you throw everything away. You're not. I'm choosing. He reached for her hand. But I need to know if I'm choosing alone. Maya looked at their joined hands, then up at his face. She saw vulnerability there, and fear, and something that looked like love. You're not alone, she whispered. The board meeting that followed was brutal. Maya insisted on being present, despite Alexander's protests. She sat beside him as Jonathan Pierce laid out his accusations. Favoritism, inappropriate relationships, compromised judgment. He painted Maya as a manipulator, someone who had used her situation to gain access and influence. Alexander's jaw clenched tighter with each word. When Jonathan finished, Alexander stood. Are you done? I think the evidence speaks for itself, Jonathan said smugly. Then let me speak for myself, Alexander replied. His voice was calm, but steel ran underneath. Maya Cooper is the most dedicated employee this company has ever had. She works longer hours than anyone, produces exceptional results, and asks for nothing in return. If you're accusing me of favoritism, you're right. I favor people who actually care about their work. That's not what this is about, Jonathan interjected. No, it's about you wanting my position, Alexander said bluntly, and using a good woman's reputation to get it. He turned to the board. Here's what I propose. Have an independent auditor review every decision I've made regarding Maya's employment, every raise, every assignment, every approval. If you find a single instance where she didn't earn it, I'll step down. But if you find what I know you'll find, that she's exceeded every expectation, then this conversation is over, and Mr. Pierce withdraws his complaint. The room fell silent. The board members exchanged glances. Finally, the chairman nodded. We'll conduct the review. 2 weeks. Those 2 weeks were agony. Maya tried to work normally, but the weight of scrutiny was suffocating. Colleagues whispered. Some offered support. Others avoided her entirely. Through it all, Alexander remained steadfast. He didn't hide their friendship, didn't distance himself. If anything, he became more present. One afternoon, Maya found him in the break room, making tea. He had never made tea before. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Learning," he said. "You always make tea when you're stressed." "I thought I should know how you take it." She laughed, despite everything. "Honey and a little milk." He prepared it carefully, handed it to her. "How are you holding up?" "I'm fine." "Liar?" She smiled sadly. "I'm terrified. What if they find something? What if I cost you everything? Then we'll figure it out together." "You keep saying that." "Because I mean it." He set down his own cup. "Maya, whatever happens, I need you to know something. What we have, it's not about the job, it's not about the company. It's about you and Lily and the fact that for the first time in years, I feel like I'm living, not just existing." Maya's eyes filled. "I feel the same way." "Then we'll be okay, no matter what." The audit results came back on a Thursday afternoon. The board called an emergency meeting. Maya and Alexander sat side by side, hands clasped under the table. The chairman reviewed the findings in excruciating detail. Every performance review, every salary increase, every project assignment. Finally, he looked up. The audit found no evidence of impropriety. In fact, Miss Cooper's performance ratings are among the highest in the company. Every decision made on her behalf was justified and documented. Relief flooded through Maya. Alexander squeezed her hand. The chairman continued, "However, the audit did reveal something else. Miss Cooper has been consistently underpaid compared to assistants with similar responsibilities. We're issuing an immediate salary adjustment and back pay." Maya gasped. "That's not necessary." "It's overdue," the chairman interrupted. "As for Mr. Pierce's complaint, it's dismissed. And Mr. Pierce, your conduct during this matter has been noted. Consider this a formal warning." Jonathan's face flushed red, but he said nothing. The meeting adjourned. As people filed out, several board members approached Maya. "We're sorry for what you went through," one elderly woman said. "You've been an asset to this company. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." Maya could barely speak. Alexander guided her out of the conference room into the privacy of his office. The moment the door closed, she collapsed into a chair, shaking. "It's over," she breathed. "It's over," he confirmed. "I can't believe they gave me a raise." "You deserved it. You've always deserved it." She looked up at him. This man who had fought for her, stood beside her, refused to let her face this alone. "Why did you do all this?" He knelt in front of her chair, taking both her hands. "Because somewhere between hiring you and now, I fell in love with you. With your strength, your dedication, the way you love your daughter, the way you see people, really see them. I fell in love with who I am when I'm with you." Tears streamed down Maya's face. "I love you too. I didn't want to. I tried not to, but I do." He kissed her then, soft and sure, a promise wrapped in tenderness. When they pulled apart, both were smiling through tears. "What do we do now?" she asked. "Whatever we want," he said. "Together." 6 months later, the community center opened. Maya stood on stage beside Alexander, cutting the ribbon as cameras flashed. The building gleamed, filled with the programs they had designed together. Child care facilities, food assistance, educational resources, health care services. Everything they had talked about that night in his office, made real. Lily sat in the front row, beaming with pride. After the ceremony, she ran to them, hugging them both. "You did it!" "You really did it." "We did it," Maya corrected, pulling Alexander into the embrace. That evening, they returned to Maya's apartment. It was still small, still modest, but it felt different now. It felt like home. They cooked dinner together, the three of them, laughing as Lily told elaborate stories about her day at school. After she went to bed, Maya and Alexander sat on the couch, her head on his shoulder. "I've been thinking," he said quietly. "About?" "Moving." He felt her tense and quickly continued. "Not to the estate. I was thinking somewhere in between. A house with a yard where Lily can play. Space for the telescope. Maybe a garden. He paused. Room for all of us. Maya lifted her head, looking at him. All of us? He reached into his pocket, pulling out a small velvet box. Inside was a ring, simple and elegant, with a single diamond that caught the light. I know it hasn't been long. I know this is fast. But I also know that I don't want to spend another day without you, officially, in my life. Both of you. Maya's hands trembled as she stared at the ring. Alexander, you asked me once why I was really at the hospital that day. The truth is, I saw something in you that first interview, something I recognized because I'd lost it myself. Hope, resilience, the refusal to give up even when everything was against you. You walked into my office asking for one chance, and you gave me one too, a chance to be better, to be more, to be loved. He took her hand. So I'm asking you, please, just one chance. Marry me. Maya was crying now, but she was smiling too, the kind of smile that comes from pure, unbridled joy. Yes, yes, of course, yes. He slipped the ring onto her finger, and they kissed, sealing the promise. From Lily's room, they heard a small squeal. They pulled apart, laughing, and found Lily peeking around the doorframe, eyes wide. Were you spying? Maya asked. Maybe, Lily admitted, running to them. Does this mean Alex is staying forever? Forever? Alexander confirmed, lifting her into his arms. Good, Lily said, wrapping her arms around his neck. That's what I wished for at the fountain. They held each other there in that small living room, the three of them, a family forged not from perfection, but from persistence, not from ease, but from choosing each other every single day. 1 year later, they stood in the garden of their new home. Not the estate, but a beautiful house with wide windows and a tire swing hanging from an old oak tree. Lily chased fireflies in the gathering dusk, her laughter echoing across the lawn. Maya stood on the porch, Alexander's arms wrapped around her from behind, watching their daughter play. Are you happy? He asked softly. She leaned back against him. More than I ever thought possible. I never thought I'd have this, he admitted. A family, a home that actually feels like one. Neither did I, Maya said. I thought I'd spend my whole life just surviving. I never imagined I'd get to live. He kissed her temple. That day you walked into my office, I thought I was doing you a favor, giving you a chance. You were. No, he said. You were giving me one. I just didn't know it yet. Lily ran up to them breathless. Come on, the fireflies are everywhere. You have to see. They followed her into the yard, chasing light in the darkness, three people who had found each other against impossible odds. Maya caught a firefly in her cupped hands, showing Lily before releasing it back into the night. As it flew away, glowing bright, she thought about chances, about the courage it took to ask for one, and the grace it took to give one. Sometimes life comes down to a single moment, a single word, please. That's all it took. One woman desperate enough to beg, one man broken enough to listen. She had asked for a job. He had given her a future. She had asked for one chance. He had given her everything. And in return, she had given him something he thought he'd lost forever, a reason to believe in love, in family, in the beautiful, complicated mess of letting people in. As they stood together under the stars, Lily between them, fireflies dancing in the summer air, Maya understood something profound. It wasn't the job that had changed her life. It wasn't the salary or the house or the ring on her finger. It was the moment someone finally saw past her struggles and recognized her worth. And it was the moment she'd been brave enough to ask for what she deserved. Just one chance. That's all anyone really needs. Thank you for sharing this moment of chance, connection, and meaning. If this story reminded you that fate often hides in everyday moments, then please subscribe to Lucky Encounters. We bring you heartfelt tales of serendipity, where a simple twist of life can change everything. Until next time, stay open, stay hopeful, and remember, sometimes luck is just love in disguise. Subscribe now.